Yeah.
That starts the meeting.
It does, yeah.
Saying your last prayer?
I guess so.
Yeah. Pun intended there. Your last,
Man.
and your last meal is after, so again, you don't leave because we got food for you, but
That sounds.
last prayer. Last
Pretty
supper.
permanent.
Thank you.
Colin better start. Oh,
No, Ronell.
Ronell. Oh, y'all already voted on that. Yeah, he can do that too, unless somebody else wants.
You're more holy than I am. You're more holy than I am. No.
That's just as close.
I forgot, Ronell did
That's
very
sinful
well.
to tell him that.
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order Friday, May 9th at 2025 at 12 p.m. And if everyone will rise with me if you can, are able, and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll have a prayer, our final prayer from Councilman Ulrich. If you'll join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the blessing that you have bestowed upon us. Father, we thank you for the rain and the small amount of ice. Thank goodness. Thank you. We also thank you for all the dedicated people that make this city what it is, and every day wake up and take care of things so we have water, sewer and lights. God bless them and watch over them. We also ask you to watch over the Gadinkey this weekend, that all may come and go and have a good time. Watch over them. In your name we pray. Amen.
Well, I want to welcome everyone today. Obviously, we have a noon meeting, which changes every year when we have to do the canvassing of the votes. So we try to get it done pretty early. So we have folks available to go spend the early afternoon at Gadinkey. So that being said, I will jump into our agenda items. The first one is City Manager's Report. And let me officially introduce Don Dixon. He is our new City Manager. And welcome to Weimar. And it's all on your shoulders now.
Thank you. I'll bear it gladly. Thank you, Mayor. I didn't have an item listed here, but I did want to give an administrative report here of some of the things that I've been working on with other staff. The LCRA Memorial Park clearing went very well. They've cleared out additional areas around the walking trails. We have ongoing advertisement for Public Works Director and Building Inspector positions in the city newspaper, in TML, and at the city website. 2 applications have been received so far for Public Works Director. The police chief interview pool is selected. I'm meeting with local interview panel on Thursday, this next Thursday. Thursday the 14th. Budget meetings and discussions with David are in progress, and we'll talk a little bit more about that throughout the agenda. We had a special land and site development meetings that are in progress. It's moving forward along the I-10 and Highway 90 corridors. A lot of that is triggered by the development by the federal DOT and the TxDOT systems. There was a LCRA quote that was due for May 2025, but that was for the upgrading of the substation to accommodate the tire recycling plant. Since we're going to not be upgrading or bringing in that tire recycling plant at this time, we're going to move that date out just a little bit when we hear more from them. A fee schedule update is progressing. We thought it would be best to bring all the fees throughout the Code of Ordinances together into one spot, make it more easier, user-friendly. When we did that, we found out that we do have some shortages of what we're charging versus what we're being charged, and we're addressing those, and I'm going to propose in a later meeting for fee increases, and we'll take a look at it again from that point there. I'm considering an ILA, which is an interlocal agreement for 4 cities in this area. of a cost sharing for inspector and code enforcement officer positions, just to see if they would be interested in pursuing that avenue. I haven't met with two of the three city managers yet, but we're moving forward on that. The priority board is still being reduced, and I'm looking into the alley ordinance for possible changes. With that, I'd like to move to item A, Finance Department with David Mason.
Good afternoon, City Council. If I could have you look at pages 1 through 12 of the council packet. I'll let you look at them. I did get some news from the Water Development Board. It was going back and forth whether we could use our own funds and not have to take a loan from them. I understand that if we took a loan from them, it would just, the interest would help their program. But they did determine that we could use our own funds. We will not have to take a loan. So it took a lot of effort, but we did finally get an answer. So we can use our own funds.
Where's that money coming from? Utilities?
It's going to come from a CD, the CD for $691,964.28. That CD there. We've actually rolled that over to a 1-month term CD, so it'll renew every month. It'll renew. So when we need it, it'll be ready to go.
Good deal.
One of the items on page 5 is Fuel Island software. We did get that in, we did get the equipment in, so within the next few weeks, probably by the end of May, we'll have installed a new Fuel Island. We're getting with the fire department, and they'll be getting new fobs, I guess, for their trucks. And our departments also will have new fobs. It should help us with tracking usage and dividing out the money more appropriately. And just overall better system.
As long as it works.
I think it will work, yeah. The old system's old, quite old. Systems are new technology, so hopefully it'll be good.
Very good. Cool. Thank you. Good. Okay. David, anything else?
That's all, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Next, we're going to hear from item number B from Derek Schwenke with the Public Works Department.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council. Well, this week, it's been Gadinky week. Pretty much run around taking care of that. We thought we were done with Rise Broadband when they were done, boring and stuff, but we had 2 areas where there were sewer backups and all that. 400 block of Northeast Street and 300 block of North Center. It was to where when they bored, they went through the sewer line. And the thing is, it took a while, for residents to figure that out. But we went ahead and fixed that. We got bill of material lists, together and labor and all that. So we're going to go ahead and bill them for that also on our end. And then been going around town patching holes. This past Friday had us running around crazy with that storm that came in. We had probably 30 residents that were out of power on the south side. We had a wire that broke loose, so we had that. But then on the West Highway 90, we had about 14 residents out that way that was out of power. One of them, we had a pole that laid over, but then also roof of a shop that blew off and blew into the power lines, busted lines and stuff like that. So we were here long hours working on all that. Then we had a sinkhole that we worked on Northwest Street where a sewer line collapsed. That was, I think, the 400 block of the Northwest Street, right there by the elementary or the middle school. Then otherwise, I know there's been a lot of dirty water complaints. We're going around flushing to try to reduce that, but we're still trying to figure out what's going on, all that stuff. So, I mean, we're addressing the issues, but it's just where do we, start, because I know lately it's been this quarter of town, seemed like, so we're trying to pinpoint what the issue is and good move on from there. So, any other questions, comments, concerns? Yes.
Derek, have we made any progress on the dressing rooms at the pool,
The bathrooms?
the bathrooms?
It's repainted, new lights. I mean, it looks a lot better. Basically, we're just pretty much just cosmetically cleaning them up and making them look good. So,
Well, that's an improvement.
yeah, I know it was brought up about doing a bench or something like that in there, but if we install a bench, we can't really do it because ADA accessible, because your bathrooms for ADA are on the other side, so we couldn't put a bench because you wouldn't be able to get a wheelchair through there, so.
Well, we appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem. Anything else?
Strain is gonna present us with, their water sewer analysis. They said by the end of May, so that should
Right.
help us determine some of the causes and fixes we need to do for the water and sewer system.
Yeah.
That should be end of May, she said.
Okay.
I would like to remind everyone, if you have a water issue, please do not post on Facebook. Call City Hall, we have an answering service that will reach out to someone. We can't operate off of Facebook, off a certain website or pages, so just pass it along. You're
Right.
smiling at me. So, thank you.
Thank you.
You might want to mention the exhaust fans at Memorial Park.
Oh, yeah. The bathrooms at the Hill Park, basically I know it was complaints of how bad the smell was and all that in those bathrooms. So the exhaust fans weren't working, so we went ahead and got those replaced and got those working. And then, eventually we're going to address those bathrooms next too, so. But I know, it was kind of hard to get in there with Little League already going and all that, so, but we're going to start making progresses on those bathrooms also.
Very good.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you and the guys that you work with, they keep us rolling.
Next is item number C, the police report from Chief Josh Jones.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council. So, for the month of April, we had 301 calls for service. Out of those calls, 16 reports were generated, offense reports. Out of that, 4 arrests were made. The arrests were anything from DWI, stolen vehicle, warrants, and drug charges. We had 118 traffic stops with 81 written warnings, 27 citations, and 10 verbal warnings. We had a 30-day reporting system, 30 days of reporting, which averages out to about 10.3 calls for service a day. Our traffic stops have decreased by a little bit more than 18.5%. Our arrests actually stayed the same from month to month, and our cases actually increased by about 6.5%. That is what we had going on within the police department for calls and traffic stops. Do y'all have any questions?
I know I've been getting a few calls, I guess, on the Facebook post, the golf cart situation, UTVs and all that. So do you mind kind of going a little more detail on that too, sir?
So I know a lot of people are concerned about that. When we posted that was pretty much just for informational purposes only, saying, hey, there are laws that outline, golf carts, UTVs, ATVs, and NEVs and whatnot. That's not saying that we're taking any sort of enforcement action right now. You know, I know a lot of people are concerned about it when of course, we have Gadinki. They use those to go back and forth from home to there. And I know it was, you know, kind of a weird time for us to put it out there, but we put it out there for a reason, saying, hey, you know, there are still laws. Primarily, NEVs are legal on the roadway. The golf carts that are, you know, have the headlights, the taillights and whatnot, up to a certain point, they are legal, you know, up to a certain point. Golf carts, though, the ones that are like the club cars, the ones that are designed for the golf course with the slick tires, those, however, are not legal. You can cross a roadway, but you have to cross a roadway to get to the golf course. So, or coming from the golf course, you won't be able to, you know, operate those on the roadway. That being said, no, we're not enforcing. We're educating public right now. You know, I know that there will come a time to where we will enforce, you know, along with the education of it. We're not going to enforce and start giving citations and, you know, getting, you know, these golf carts off the streets, you know, automatically. But ultimately, we need to educate first. So, yes, sir.
Just to thank you for providing that information about statistics, arrests, those kinds of things for the Weimer paper.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And thank you for the golf cart stuff, because
Yes.
it's summertime, and obviously, we're already seeing a lot of that happening. And there's probably some way that we, as a council, will sit down and together and come up with what will be best suited for the community. Because I think it's a great opportunity for us to do things.
I appreciate that. We see a lot of children driving them, and we want to stress that you still have to be a licensed operator in order to operate a vehicle on a roadway. This is a golf cart is a motorized vehicle, no matter what. You still have to be a licensed operator. The kids that are driving these, they're nowhere able to be driving. And if you've ever had to be involved in a motor vehicle against a golf cart accident, it's not a good situation. It's never a good end. And, you know, this is what we're trying to do. We're really trying to protect our people. You know, and we're not trying to take away the fun. You know, we just want to educate them and protect them as much as possible.
Thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
Next is item number D from the library with Misty Strode.
Good afternoon, council, mayor, city of Weimer. All right, for my report, first thing on page 14, we have my graph of how our circulation is going over there. Ups and downs like usual. Right now we have 17,508 holdings of materials and books at our library. We have 1,730 patrons participating in the library. And on loan right now is 779 books and materials being used. For our monthly visits at the library, we have 580 for the month of April, which is a good thing because it went up in numbers. So we're so glad for people that came to visit the library and get materials and using our programs. For our usage of the Library Overdrive, that is our program online that you can use to get free books, free audio, free ebooks to use online. We had, for audiobooks, we had 29 for the month of April, so staying about the same. And then for our ebooks, we had about 82, so went down from last month. But just know that it's available for you out there to use, and we do count. So, all right, for the month of May, we just had our book sale at the library this past Saturday. We did a really good job. We thank everybody that came and participated in buying books and giving us some awesome donations for the library to keep and buy new books. For today, we all will be closing early at 2 p.m. today for the Gadinki because the roads will be closed and it'll be hard to get over there. So make sure you get in your materials before then so we can make sure that you don't have overdue materials. Coming up for the library is our big summer reading program. This year it's called Color Our World with reading. Anybody can participate. We're hoping adults and kids will get involved. There will be flyers going out to the schools to let them know what we'll be having going on at the library. From last year, our kids read about 52,788 pages, and we had about 82 kids participate. Adults reading, we about had 93,000 pages, and they beat the kids this past summer. So we're hoping that we get that going where the kids can beat the adults. So it's the hope push the reading into the community. Our community goal reading last year was 100,000 pages. We reached 158,882 pages with the adults and the kids' help trying to reach them. So we did reach our goal. So this year, we're going to aim for 200,000 pages. So anybody involved, please help us out and read with us. Some of our programs we're going to have this year, we're going to have the intermediate crochet with Ms. B. With our new member, Allison Cook, we're going to have needle flannel. So that's going to be a new little arts and crafts thing participating. That usually be on Thursdays, probably about 2 o'clock. We still have our Weimar Chess Club going on. He wants to continue, so we're hoping to get more members involved. Children and adults can be participating. We'll have that on Tuesdays around 3:45. And then, of course, I still have my library and motion class on Wednesdays at 10, and we still have story time at 10 a.m. on Thursdays. Some of the shows that will be coming up with the summer program. Lovely train. On June 2nd, we're hoping to start off the reading club to start with our painting rocks to get our reading snake started onto our beautiful landscaping that our garden club did. We're going to add a little bit more color to it by adding a library reading snake. So we're going to do some painting rocks on June 2nd. On June 9th, we're going to have the Science Heroes at 10:30 a.m. At the library. And once the library is packed, so you know we've got a small little area. Once it's packed and I can't have too many people, if you've missed that show, you can also go to Nesbit. They have in the show right after at 2 p.m. So we've been working out with Nesbit to help us out with some of the shows too. On June 16th, we will have Texas Snakes with Clint at 10:30 in the library. And June 23rd, Magic in the library with Bronson at 10 a.m. And then on Monday, June 30th, Hats Off to Reading. It will be at the gazebo at 10:30. And anybody can join with your favorite hat and bring in the color to reading. So just add a little color for making hats and all that good stuff over there. And I think that's about it. Any questions or anything, concerns at the library? Hopefully not. All right, well, just come and visit and
Thank you, Misty.
thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr.
Have fun at Katinky.
With that, Mayor, City Council, City of Weimar, I appreciate your time and attention to all these items that we've presented, and I'm handing it back to the mayor for item number 4.
Okay, agenda item number 4, citizens' presentation and comments. In accordance with the Texas Attorney General's opinion, any public comment that is made on an item that is not on the posted final agenda will only be heard by the City Council. No formal action, discussion, deliberation, or comment will be made by the City Council. No one has signed up to speak unless you've walked in and decided you want to. Anybody who wants to speak? It just didn't say in the agenda item, but you want to speak? Okay, Thomas. Introduce yourself, okay?
Good afternoon, Mayor Culler, Mr. Dixon, members of council. I just find it easier to introduce myself because I find when I walk into a meeting dressed like this, people usually want to know who's that lawyer in the room and what's he doing here. My name is Thomas Gush. I am a lawyer. I'm a former city attorney, a current city attorney actually. I was the former city attorney of the city of Victoria for 13 years. I took my TMRS retirement. Like a lot of our first responders, I'm double dipping against my TMRS retirement. I've started my own company. I've got a law firm out of Victoria, and I represent primarily local government entities. I'm city attorney in a couple of cities. I've represented over 20 different governmental entities in the 2 years that I've been open. I absolutely love what I do, and I enjoy coming around and getting to know other communities and the things that they're doing in their city councils. This fall, I'll be presenting again at the TML conference. I don't know if any of you attend TML conferences, but we may have crossed paths there I'm a frequent speaker. And I'm going to be speaking on roles and responsibilities of mayors, city administrators, city council members, kind of where those boundaries are to help people kind of understand what their lane is supposed to be. And so that's part of the reason I'm traveling around, visiting with city councils, seeing what they're doing and how they interact with each other. Because as you know, every city in Texas is different. So congratulations, welcome to the city. Hope to have a chance to talk with each of you between now and October when the conference comes around. I'd love to learn about the things that are going on here in Weimar. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thomas, would you spell your last name? I just can't read it on here. Just
Nobody can. It's GWOSDZ.
you. I-
And once you write it down,
I
you'll never
did
be able to
not get,
pronounce it.
nope, I did not get that at all from what you have written. I'm glad I asked. Thank you. That must be an attorney's signature. Is that what it is?
It must be.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to speak during public comments? Okay. We'll move to agenda item number 5, introduction of new employees. Josh.
Mayor, council, I would like to introduce you to Officer Dominguez. She comes from Elgin Police Department. She's got about 6.5 years' experience. She is a mental health officer. She is an advanced peace officer, and I have tried like heck multiple times to recruit her, and I finally got her. She is going to be a very valuable asset to our city.
Thank you. Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome. Glad to have you.
Good to see you again.
We always want to shake your hand, and this will be the only time that we see you.
It was just at a function, she happened to grab it.
I'll welcome our new member, Allison Cook, for the library. We're so glad to have her. She'll be a big help to our library, so we're going to see what kind of other things and programs she can bring to us and help us out at there.
Welcome back, Allison.
Nice to meet you. Welcome to Weimar.
Is that all we have? Members? Yes. Okay. Okay, we'll move to agenda item number 6. And Misty, since you have a reading program, you might want to, can I sign up right now? So of all these ones that I have to read, can I get credit for that? Because there's a bunch of them coming up. Okay, the first one is National Police Week. And I will read this. National Police Week 2025 proclamation, May 11th through 17th, 2025. To recognize National Police Week 2025 and to honor the service and sacrifice of those law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty while protecting our communities and safeguarding our democracy. Whereas there are more than 800,000 law enforcement officers serving in the communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the Weimar Police Department. Whereas since the first recorded death in 1786, there are currently more than 24,000 law enforcement officers in the United States have made the ultimate sacrifice and been killed in the line of duty. Whereas the names of these dedicated public servants are engraved on the walls of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C. Whereas 345 new names of fallen heroes are being added to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial this spring, including 148 officers killed in 2024 and 197 officers killed in previous years. The memorial at Washington DC currently holds the names of 24,412 officers. Whereas the service and sacrifice of all officers killed in the line of duty will be honored during the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund's 37th Candlelight Vigil on the evening of May 13th, 2025. Whereas the Candlelight Vigil is part of National Police Week, which will be observed this year, May 11th through the 17th. Whereas May 15th is designated as Police Officers Memorial Day in honor of all fallen officers, their families, and U.S. flags should be flown at half-staff. Therefore, be it resolved that the City of Weimar will observe May 11th through the 17th, 2025 as National Police Week in the City of Weimar, and publicly salutes to the service of law enforcement officers in our community and in communities across the nation. Just on a note, on May 15th, the Police Officers Memorial services for Colorado County will be held in Columbus at the courthouse, and I do think it starts at 6 p.m. And I encourage everyone here to attend if you have time to. Okay, item number B in proclamations and recognition, EMS Week Proclamation, May 18th through the 24th, 2025. We Care for Everyone. Designated the week of May 18th through the 24th, 2025 as Emergency Medical Services Week, EMS Week. Whereas emergency medical services is a vital public service, and whereas the members of emergency medical services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need of 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And whereas across the quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury, and whereas emergency medical services fills healthcare gaps by providing important out-of-hospital care, including preventive medicine, follow-up care, and access to telemedicine. And whereas the emergency medical service system consists of first responders, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, emergency medical dispatchers, firefighters, police officers, educators, administrators, pre-hospital nurses, emergency physicians, trained members of the public, and other out-of-hospital medical care providers. And whereas the members of emergency medical services teams, whether career or volunteer, engage thousands of hours of specialized training and continued education to enhance their life-saving skills. And whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and the accomplishments of emergency medical services providers by designating the Emergency Medicine Service Week. Emergency Medical Service Week. Now therefore I, Milton Coleman, Mayor, City of Weimar, Texas, in recognition of this event, do hereby proclaim week May 18th to the 24th, 25 as Emergency Medical Service Week. The 51st anniversary of Emergency Medical Service Week theme is EMS Week, We Care for Everyone. I encourage the community to observe this week with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities in honor of the EMS profession and the essential services it provides. And if you folks want to come up, because we have, would love to take a picture with you guys.
Sure, thank you.
Gonna come stand behind me. They don't know the routine yet.
You're coming in. I'm good, how are you? Good to see you.
Have a seat. We'll have a seat.
Yes, can seat and stand behind. Everybody? Distinguished group behind you. guys for your service. Thank you for your service.
And thank you all very much. We enjoy serving the city.
Thank you. Thank you for your services. Thank you. Bye. Sure.
Misty, that's two down.
I know. No,
Take note.
you didn't do Josh.
Pardon?
You didn't do a picture with Josh
Thank y'all. Council, Mayor.
We can get that before.
later.
Yep.
Just so he don't slip out.
Okay, we'll go to third one on the list. May as Mental Health Month. May is a Mental Health Month proclamation, whereas mental health wellness is essential to everyone's overall health and well-being, and whereas all Americans face challenges in life that can negatively impact their mental health, and whereas prevention, including education and awareness, are effective ways to reduce the burden of mental health conditions, and whereas mental health conditions are real and prevalent in our nation, in our great state of Texas, and in Colorado County. And whereas with effective treatment, those individuals with mental health conditions can recover and lead full, productive lives. And whereas we all share the burden of mental health problems and have responsibility to promote mental wellness and support prevention and treatment efforts. And whereas we call upon all citizens, government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, churches, and schools in our community to commit themselves to working together through our Health and Behavior Wellness Council to increase awareness and educate ourselves about mental health and mental disorders, removing any remaining stigma, and working to develop needed and accessible services for all of our people with mental health conditions. Therefore, I, Milton Kohler, Mayor, City of Weimar, do hereby proclaim May 2025 as Mental Health Month in the Weimar, Texas. Anyone here to take pictures? Okay. We'll go to D, National Garden Week, June 1st through the 7th. A proclamation for National Garden Week, June 1st through the 7th, 2025. Whereas gardeners have passion for nurturing and the beauty and resources of the earth through the planting of seeds, the care of all plants, and the harvesting of riches of their efforts, and whereas gardeners seek to add beauty, splendor, fragrance, and nutrition to our lives through the growth of herbs, vegetables, foliage, and flowers, and whereas gardening furnishes and challenging and productive activity for many citizens, for those just learning as well as those having years of experience, and whereas gardening promotes the healthy lifestyle that lasts a lifetime, helps reduce stress from other areas of life, teaches that rewards come through diligent efforts, and whereas gardening enables members of the Garden Club across Texas and the nation to serve others in the communities in which they reside and work. And whereas the Weimar Garden Club works within the community, beautify, educate, and promote the love of gardening to all through scholarship programs and donations, contests, and recognitions. Whereas the Weimar Garden Club partners with the City of Weimar and other organizations to improve various gardens and structures within the City of Weimar. Now therefore be it resolved in an effort to acknowledge the importance of gardening and the numerous contributions of the Weimar Garden Club, that I, Milton Kohler, wish to thank the Weimar Garden Club and hereby acknowledge the week of June 1st through 7th, 2025 as National Garden Week. I know there's some gardeners. If you guys will come on up and we'll take a quick picture. Leave your herbs behind.
Thank you.
Yep. There you go.
Or did you get them buying? Yes, I did.
Josh, we'll take a picture of you for the police thing right after we get through, okay?
Oh, good.
No flowers have been brought?
You didn't check on me for mental health.
Oh. Are we? She's been taking pictures. Spaced out? Oh, very good. All right. Thank you, ladies.
Oh, one more regroup. Regroup.
That is,
Regroup.
she's gonna repeat the last comment publicly. Are you gonna say it? Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you, blooming idiots.
Thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Yeah. Josh, you wanna come up and do the National Police Week while we?
I'm glad you could make it back.
Thank you, ladies.
Great. I was gonna say, somebody take a picture. Where's your office?
Love for you to have a seat. This being your last one. Please, come on. Get on in here too.
Yes, y'all can be smart people. No, we're good. That looks like a good picture right there.
Right, yes. Come on, Roy.
Oh, get in there.
And Roy, scoot in. Danny's here.
Oh.
Well, you got your chin.
That's right. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for serving.
Okay, we'll go to agenda item D under proclamations.
You missed the flag. Flag day.
Oh, E, sorry, E. Flag Day proclamation. Whereas Flag Day is a holiday celebrated on June 14th in the United States, it commemorates the adoption of the flag of the United States on June 14th, 1777, by resolution of the Second Continental Congress. The resolution stated, "The flag of the 13 states be 13 stripes, alternate red and white, that the Union be 13 stars with a blue field representing the new constellation." And whereas June 14th, 2025 marks over 248 years of displaying our American flag, and whereas it is fitting and proper to officially recognize Old Glory as a symbol of hope, inspiration, and pride for the people of the United States and around the world. And whereas in 1916, President Woodrow Wilson issued a proclamation that officially establishes June 14th as Flag Day in order to commemorate the adoption of our flag on August 3rd, 1949, the Congress by joint resolution designated June 14th of each year as Flag Day. And it is at the President's discretion to issue an annual proclamation designating the week in which June 14th occurs as National Flag Week. Flag Day is not an official federal holiday, but citizens of the United States are asked to display the flag on June 14th and during the week of Flag Week, June 8th through 14th, at their home and business. Now therefore, I, Milton Kohler, by the power vested in me as mayor of the city of Weimar, and on behalf of the City Council and citizens of Weimar, do hereby proclaim June 14th as Flag Day in the city of Weimar, Texas, and ask our citizens to reaffirm the ideas of our county by displaying our American flag at their home and throughout the county the week of June 8th through 14th, 2025, given under the hand and seal this 9th day of May, 2025. Okay. Misty's gone. She didn't get me. Oh, yeah, you got all those I read? I think it Mr. Wilson, because it was Woodrow Wilson that did that. Okay, we'll move to agenda item 7. Presentations. We will go to the first one, which is A, options for code enforcement and building inspector instead of safe build. City manager?
Yes, it's been expressed to me some concern about the amount of code enforcement that's being done throughout the city and is lacking. And we are looking in, advertising currently for a building inspector, but we're also considering looking for a code enforcement officer. But there's been a little bit of confusion as I've discussed this with Chief Josh, in that I think, and please correct me if I'm wrong, some of the council members wanted to combine the role of animal control officer and code enforcement officer. Josh and I have discussed this extensively. There's some problematic issues with that. Some being, and Chief, clear me out on any of this if I'm wrong, the animal control officer operates from the penal code. He's allowed to discharge a firearm in the city limits in the emergency of an animal attack. There's several things that he's allowed to do that a code enforcement officer is forbidden to do. Code enforcement officers should never carry, that could be perceived as threatening, and we don't want that as a code enforcement officer. And the code enforcement officer operates more primarily out of the zoning regulations, tall grass and weeds, junk vehicles, substandard housing, and things of that nature. So we're wanting a little bit of clarification and direction as the mayor and the council want us to move. We're looking, Josh and I are looking at 2 different positions. And if you decide to put the code enforcement officer under the administrative branch of the government and not leave that with the police department, we'll take that on. If you want both of them to remain under the police department, we'll take that on. But the animal control, since it operates out of the penal code, would remain under the penal governing administration, which is through the police department.
So you're looking at hiring a separate animal control and a separate code enforcer and a separate building inspector?
That's the thought, yes.
Can Weimer support me? We have enough loose dogs to justify that?
Chief, if
You
you
didn't
will
live here
address
long
that.
enough.
Yeah.
Our animal population, our loose animal, our stray animal population has gone kind of haywire lately. But with animal control, it's a little bit more than just chasing around the loose dogs. It's more of, following up on the complaints for the malnourished animals and the puppy mills and everything of that nature. So, yes, sir.
Is it also for dead animal pickup when there's one in the road?
Yes.
There's a lot of different aspects to an animal control officer.
So just, the stray animal population, while it has gotten larger, it will decrease with more proactivity that we are. But there's other issues within the city that we have to address, and that's not even addressing the stray cats. Right now, animal control doesn't even mess with cats. And there's rescues out there that will actually take the stray cats that we catch. If I've found one that will do it, and that's all they do is just the stray cats, and they spay, neuter, and then adopt out as well. So it can, it can support a full-time animal control officer. But in the case that there's a lull in activity, with it being a peace officer, they can still perform police functions in the meantime as well. But their primary focus would be animal control, following up on all the complaints, keeping our streets looking pretty, our, like the dead animals and whatnot, getting them off the streets and whatnot to when people drive through. So it could possibly, be able to support it.
And in addition to that, I would like to introduce just a primary thought at this point, because I have not met all the city managers of the surrounding cities, and I've met with Schulenberg. and they're open to sharing a building inspector slash code enforcement officer position. And I'm going to approach LaGrange about that because I heard their building inspector has removed himself from employment with them. Oh, it was code enforcement? Okay, I was under the impression it was a building inspector. But if we could get several cities involved in this, after I have to speak with the city managers and develop a proposal to present to them, it may be cost effective for us to approach it in that manner, where we would have one officer, code officer, one building inspector, and I don't know about animal control officer. They may have one that we could help pay towards their salary on a monthly basis and have them come by and patrol the city. So that's what we're working on. We'll have to wait and see how that pans out with the other city managers as well. I don't know how that's gonna go yet. That's in the works. It's by interlocal agreement.
So what are we doing at the moment?
At the moment, we have Safe Built, and their code enforcement officer comes by once a week. It's by complaint only. He does not initiate any of his own visual violations that he sees. Building inspections, as I understand it, they come in when it's requested, and they don't come by until then. But there's an inconsistency there, because if we got the same inspector every time for all inspections, it would be much better, because 4 different inspectors have 8 different eyes looking at it and 4 different opinions of what they see as a violation. And one may see something as a blatant violation of the code, while another one may say, no, that works fine, but it's been working in the industry for 35 years. So we would like to bring one on board that would be the same one in the area, whether we share it with other cities or we bring them on here just at the city of Weimar. And with our subdivision kicking off, we're going to need something. There's going to be a lot of inspections performed, and that's why we also need to address the fee increases, because right now we're just coming up a little bit behind the 8 ball on that, but we'll get it straightened out quickly.
I think we just wanted to review, where we are currently with Safe Build, and there have been a number of concerns in several areas regarding Safe Build, particularly on the inspections, and even on the code enforcement. Of course, obviously, we have to have something in the interim, but there have been some pretty serious frustrations over in that company.
Can they take a more proactive approach on the code enforcement instead of us having to report anything? I mean, that's what we're, if they're driving around and see something, can they do that?
I have been in discussions with the top person in Safe Built for the state of Texas, and she has said, yes, they can take a more proactive approach to that, because the guy's here for 8 hours. What she didn't conclude was an hour of that's driving in and an hour is driving out. So he's got 6 hours here that he is here. And if you like, I can shift that from being reactive to proactive. And I can designate which ones we want him to look at first. Junk vehicles, tall grass and weeds, whatever 7, 8, 9, 10 items you want them to look for when they come into the city.
Can anyone on staff tell me how long he's actually here when he comes? Yes, go ahead.
I would say it's in 5 hours.
He's here 5 hours. He's literally in the city limits for 5 hours.
I would, based on his reporting, he's here for 5 hours.
Well, that, different answer to a different
Well,
question, yeah.
so he doesn't check in with us and then leave and then come check in with us when he leaves again. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't come check in at City Hall and say, hey, I'm here, and then when the boy goes home, say, hey, I'm leaving.
I know, but that's why I asked if anybody had that knowledge, because we pay for the 8 hours, I think is that correct? And if he has 3 complaints that we have submitted to him, what is he doing after the 3 complaints?
And the lady that I spoke with did bring that up. We pay for his 8 hours, whether we fully utilize him or just send him out on 3 complaints.
Yep.
So I recommend moving proactively, but he's not familiar with who is who in the town, so whoever has a violation, anyone sitting at this table could get a violation, anyone sitting in the audience, and some people get upset about it, and it could ring in you all's ears. But just remember that code violations do need to be abated. We need to change the image of Weimar, and we need to make it a place place where people desire to come and locate with their homes and enjoy the amenities that we have here.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because that was one of the selling points for them, is they didn't know who anybody was.
Exactly.
Yep.
I'll do
There
whatever
was
you
no
guys do.
biasness.
It seems to me we need to be proactive
Yep.
in that respect. Just,
Instead of Becky riding around looking for the junk vehicles,
Yes.
they should be
and
riding.
Becky does a good job.
Oh, absolutely.
Yet,
That is-
she's not employed by Safe Building.
And I do get other complaints too, and I do have one that I'll share off with the city, give them an address or something. I really don't know the complete address, but it's been ongoing for months. And, just have somebody put the eyes on it besides me.
Okay, you have my number.
I do.
Give me a call.
I will.
Now, I will say, this is presentations only, no action required.
Right.
So we will have, before you guys decide on this, we would have to set this for the next council meeting as an item on the agenda. And unless I can do that administratively, I can't find the contract, Danny can't find the contract. We're looking for it, but we haven't found it yet. My next step is get with a lady named Tracy Rodriguez and have her send me the contract for Weimer, between Weimer and Safeville. And then I'll see if I have the authority as city manager to make changes, or if I have to bring it back to council. If I do have it, the authority to make changes, you won't see this again, it'll just get changed, and then we'll move on from there.
Very good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for clarifying all that. And council, just give your ideas or start formulating them, so you can come back to Don with what you guys want to do, and we'll put it as an agenda item to make some decision, or leave it as is, whichever. Okay.
Okay.
Did you get your answer to Dog?
Kind of, yes. So it will be a police officer doing it?
Yes, if you need me to clarify,
Yes.
I'll be more than happy to clarify. So, as of right now, the police are doing it. And, going forward, it will be the police, under the police department, as a police officer doing it. I do want to add in that the kennels are being built today. They probably are by now done. They only said that it'll take about 2 to 3 hours for the surround structure to go up. We will get the other panels in to finish it out, but it should be done by, I would probably say early next week by the time we get it done. So we can start taking more proactive approach to it as well on the animal side and on the stray animal side. We just had the problem with having one pen, one kennel. So we would be able to catch one, hold it for 3 days, 4 days, get it adopted out. If we had to euthanize, thank goodness we haven't had to euthanize. We've always been able to adopt out, but, and then we can pick up another one. So this will start the more proactive to where we could, keep it constantly filtered through.
So, and I'm sorry. go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say, so the police officer is acting in that role,
Yes.
but the preference is that police officer not act in that role. Is that right?
Is that correct, Josh?
So
You'd like to have a separate animal control officer for that position?
we can have a police officer for that position. I do believe, though, that we can come out on the better side financially if it's a civilian operating underneath the police department. The caveat to that, though, is we get animal cruelty. The animal control officer, that if he was a police officer, wouldn't be able to investigate any of that, take any sort of enforcement action, anything of that nature. It would be passed on to the police department if it was a civilian side. So when it comes to that, it would be better off for a police officer to be in the animal control officer role. Currently, right, we're picking it up right now as we go with the sworn staff that we have. And we were slotted an animal control officer spot. It was just never filled or pursued, or I'm not exactly sure on why it was never, brought forth. But, so that's kind of where we're at. I think, financially, civilian is always gonna be a little bit cheaper than a sworn officer, obviously. But when you come to needing the police department, you have if you go with the civilian side, you have the civilian person doing the initial part, and then the police coming in, you're gonna start, it's gonna start costing more money. So if you have a police officer, all encompassed doing everything, it keeps it very, very clean.
So we still have that position as a possibility,
It is still there,
but it has not been pursued.
correct. For one reason or another, I couldn't tell you exactly why. It was never pursued, but I do know that it is on the books.
Do you want to pursue it?
I would absolutely love to pursue it.
Is there a certification license that's needed for animal control?
So there's certain extra trainings that need to be done for animal control. You would have to be, they would have to be trained on the proper use of a dart gun for the aggressive animals. There's certain places that you need to aim or whatnot. You can't do any of the soft tissues. You have to be trained on the catch pole. Obviously, rules happen for a reason. Catch poles have, choked animals, they have killed animals, and it's been because of improper use of them. So we have to have those training as law enforcement, if we're in a law enforcement capacity doing animal control. We also have to, it's not really training, you can do it online, an online course, but you have to know the disinfecting, the cross-contamination laws and whatnot, and also the cleaning laws of the kennels that you're putting the animals in, and how to keep that sanitary as well. So it's not actually, it's very minute compared to what, if you hired a civilian, you would have to send them through an entire animal control course and whatnot. These are just extra trainings.
So on that, what about for transportation wise, because you probably wouldn't want to put it in a patrol unit, could you utilize that 2006 2500, put the, use that as more of the vehicle for that, just put a cage in the back, I guess, or something?
So right now, it currently is equipped for it. It does have the animal control cage that was on the Colorado. It was in that, or it's on there now. It's strapped on with a ratchet strap and whatnot to hold it in place. But we do have other options that are available. We could continue to utilize it, which is perfectly fine. It would actually suit better on doing that. But with the vehicles that have currently been ordered, there was actually a pickup truck that was ordered with it. So we could utilize one of the newer vehicles and put that cage on the back of that. That way we can surplus the old equipment, the old vehicles that we have now, and have more trustworthy vehicles. Since that vehicle's already been ordered and it's already been budgeted for, we could just choose to utilize that in a different capacity than what it was planned for.
B, Weimer Spring Cleanup Day report.
Thank you, Mayor. As you can see, if you turn to page 23 of the packet, we had a really good turnout for April of 2025. 180,800 pounds of waste that was delivered to the transfer station. That is 90.4 tons. That's a lot of waste. That shows that the city is willing to clean up. We're ready to start moving forward on this. And I think now is the time when you catch the citizens that are ready to do it, you move with the citizens, you roll in the flow, and you get the city cleaned up. The businesses are probably dumping away their waste, and let's just keep moving forward on this.
We'll come up with a date for the fall when we get closer. I don't, off the top of my head, what month is it in usually? October-ish, okay.
Okay.
Put that on the to-do calendar.
Not the end of October.
Not the end? Okay.
Too much going on. Turkey dinner, Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
It's better maybe the third weekend or middle.
Or the
It's
first
just a
week.
lot.
So you
Or
can
the
take off
first
all
week.
your candy.
The first weekend is.
Okay, under 7, item C, EDC grant report. David, do you want to give that, or? You want-
Yeah, it's on page 24 of the council packet. We had one recipient of the EDC grant this year. It was Weimar Meat Company, which is directly across from City Hall here, in an amount of $19,809.75. The work is being done, and they have until August 29th to turn in their receipts for the work. I think it'd be a good asset to our community.
Okay. Go to agenda item number 8, consent agenda. All consent items are considered routine and will be acted on by a single vote. We have one item under that, which is minutes of the April 10th regular council meeting, April 14th special council meeting, and April 21st special council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilwoman Roberts, a second from Councilman Tucker. Any discussion or changes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 9, canvass of the May 3rd election results. For you guys, in the packet, it's on page 33. Okay, election reconciliation official totals for Colorado County for the city of Weimar. Registered voters are 1,280. The election day was May 3rd, 2025. Let's go to the first one, voters. Early voting in-person voters were 97. Election day in-person voters were 105. The provisional ballots submitted 0. Total voters were 205. Rejected ballots, 0. Counted ballots, early voting ballots, 97. Election day ballots counted, 107. Mail ballots counted were 3, for a total of 207. The difference between the voters and ballots was a +2, and the difference as percentage of voters was 0.97%.
Canvas is the last page. There, 35.
Okay, we'll go to page 35. The official votes, the canvas votes for the city of Weimar. For place 1, Becky Roberts, total 165, which is 79.71%. Absentee were 3, early voting 79, election day 83, for a total of 165. Dolores, is that all I need to read on that?
Yes.
Pardon?
Yes.
Okay. Councilman, place 3, City of Weimar, was Ronell Wilson. Total votes were 106. A vote percentage of 51.21%. 1 absentee, 48 early voting, election day 57. Stephen Hellenkamp, total 99. They had a 47.83% of the vote. There were 2 absentee, 48 early voting, and 49 election day. The total votes cast were 205, which was a 99.03% vote. There were 3 absentee total, early voting 96, and election day 106. For Councilman, place 5, City of Weimar, Hertz Gardino. There were a total of 169 votes. 81.64% of the votes were 3 absentee, early voting 80, election day 86. The total votes cast, again, were 169. He received 81.64%. And that's all I need, Dolores?
Yes.
Sufficient, okay. Okay, now I would go to agenda item number 10. administer the oath of office to newly elected officers. And I will ask you guys come, we can actually go out that direction, so make it easier for Mr. Wilson. I'll stand here, yeah, David, you should be back. We have somewhat the city map in mind, so to make it. Okay, I'm gonna do this separately, just because I feel that's more honorable than to do it as a group. Okay? Okay. So, Ms. Roberts, if you will, in the name and by the authority in the state of Texas,
In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, I, Becky Roberts, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office Council Place 1 of the state of Texas and will do the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and by this state, so help me God. Thank you.
In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, I, Kurt Scardino, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Council Place 5 of the state of Texas and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of this state and of this state, so help me God.
I'll be where you think. And I'll go short enough that I can. In the name and by the authority. In the name and by the authority. Of the state of Texas. State of Texas. I. State your name. Ronnie Wilson. Do solemnly swear. Do solemnly swear. Or affirm. Or affirm. That I will faithfully. That I will faithfully. Execute the duties. Execute the duties. Of the office of. Of the office of. And your Councilman. Place 3, City of Wyman. In the state of Texas. In the state of Texas. And will do this to the best of my ability. And will to the best of my ability. Preserve. Preserve. Protect. Protect. And defend the Constitution. And defend the Constitution. And the laws of the United States. And the laws of the United States. And of the state. And of the state. So help me God. So help me God. Okay, so thank you. Yeah. And by the way, the God part makes the difference just with Mr.
All right.
Congratulations.
We're going to be hearing that in God from Mr. Wilson more often. And we'll take pictures after that'll, the one that have to do presentations, certificate of election. What do you want me to do?
We'll just give them their certificates
hand.
whenever.
They're in here, hold on.
Yes.
The real pictures. Okay, there's somewhere here they are. So get your smiles ready.
Oh.
We're doing it in front of the Weimar flag. Okay, yes. Don't get the table. Okay, thank you. Robert. Councilwoman Roberts.
Becky, how many of those do you have now?
I don't know, I have to go home and count. There's a bunch.
You gotta find them.
Yeah, Roy, you're right.
There you go. Good enough.
Not as many as Roy has.
You still have all of them? business discussion, consider an action regarding the following. A resolution of appreciation for Roy Ulrich. There you go. It's already been signed. Roy? Let me read this. This might be another one to put on there. Misty. Resolution of appreciation. Whereas Roy Ulrich, councilman of Weimar, Texas, faithfully and diligently served the citizens of Weimar, Texas with effectiveness and devotion, with honor to himself and to his position. Whereas this body acting on its own accord, wishing to recognize the exemplary service of Mr. Ulrich for his untiring and devoted efforts in assistance to the constituents of Weimar, Texas. Now, therefore, it be resolved by the City Council of the City of Weimar, Texas, that the City Council of Weimar, Texas does hereby go on record as extending to Mr. Ulrich its thanks for a job well done, and the resolution to spread upon the minutes of the City of Weimar, Texas meeting in regular session this 19th day of May, AD 2025. The above resolution was adopted by the City Council of the City of Weimar meeting on the regular session on this 9th day, May, AD 2025. So before I stand up and give this to him, Dolores, you know off the top of your head the number of years.
I know the elections, it was 27 years, but
27.
when did you get appointed? Do you know?
There you go, thank you.
27 years of this man sitting up here.
Awesome.
And a remarkable amount of years giving service to the community, taking phone calls, saying the prayer, whatever.
Yeah.
We've always called him the number cruncher, but I personally want to thank you. Emotional for me. This is going to be turned into a plaque. We just don't have the back part of it. Okay, so now I need a motion to adopt for the resolution. Okay.
Motion to adopt the resolution of appreciation for Councilman Roy Ulrich.
Second.
I probably should have done that first, but I couldn't wait. I have a motion from Councilman Tucker and a second from Councilman Scardino. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you again for being Mayor Pro Tem by my side. Yeah. Agenda item 12B, Bond Council Financial Advisor. David or Dolores? I'm not sure.
There's nothing to talk about this time.
Okay, just, okay. Okay, agenda item 12C, appointment of Mayor Pro Tem. At this time, I would like to recommend that council provide that duty to Councilwoman Becky Roberts.
I so move.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilman Wilson and a second from Councilman Tucker. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations. You'll have a new seat next to me.
I can't fill
You
those
have big
shoes.
shoes to fill, yes. Agenda item number 12D, resolution authorizing representatives as the city's executive officer and authorizing representative in all matters pertaining to the city's participation in the home program reservation system with the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs. I think on your resolution it states that we're adding myself and Don to that. And I'll need a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number 06-2025, authorizing
at the top of it, yeah, you're reading it, yep.
I'm sorry. Authorize, the resolution of the city council authorizing the mayor, Milton Kohler, and city manager Donald D. Dixon Jr. to act as the city executive officers and authorize representatives in all matters pertaining to the city's participation in the home program reservation system with the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs.
Okay. I have a motion from Councilwoman Roberts, and a second from Councilman Christian. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 12 under C, closing the 300 block of East Green Street on May 10th from 3:30 to 7:30 p.m.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. This is Lana Blank's trail ride that she does every year. She's requesting that the 300 block of East Grange, 3:30 to 7:30 be closed while they make the trail through the city and around and back up. She has submitted a permit to Josh for this, and it has all the pertinent information on it and a map of where she's gonna take the trail. I don't know if Josh needs to speak on this or anything.
No, it's her standard. It's the one that she does every single year.
Okay, thank you.
Motion to close the 300 block of East Grange Street on May 10th from 3:30 to 7:30 p.m.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilman Tucker, a second from Councilwoman Roberts. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 12F, appointment of Donald Dixon to the Weimar Economic Development Board. As part of our EDC, the city manager is one of the folks that's always, and since Richard has resigned and we have Don with us, I just need to go through the formal proceedings to add him to our Economic Development Board.
Make a motion to appoint Donald Dixon to the Weimar EDC Board.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilman Scardino. I have a second from Councilman Tucker. Any additional discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 12, lines G, school resource officers, SRO. Josh? You have anything?
No, that one's gonna be removed. I did get a text message from the superintendent. So what we were gonna bring to y'all, just kind of give y'all information since it was here. What we were gonna bring to y'all is that we wanted to be competitive with Colorado County when they offered the two officers at a 50-50 split. So we had come up with an ILA, and we were gonna present that to y'all at two officers at a 50-50 split to be competitive, so he could take it to his school board, and so to figure out which one they actually wanted to go with. Since then, he communicated that they're just gonna go with Colorado County and, do it that way. So just kind of give y'all some information. So there's nothing to add to this.
Thank you for updating.
Thank you.
No action is needed, so we will move to agenda item 13. Future agenda items. Council have anything that they would like Mr. Dixon to maybe come up with? If you don't have it now, obviously you can always reach out. Okay, good. Okay?
I would like to see us discuss moving the police department back into the city limits.
Okay.
Because it's getting pretty close on the road on Interstate 10, so we need to have some good discussion on that pretty quick.
Okay. We will put that down, or have a discussion with you, and we'll figure it out, okay? Anybody else have anything? Okay. Announcements, you want to read the announcements at the bottom?
Yes. Announcements is item 14A, Weimar Gedenke. I need to say that right.
Still hasn't been here long enough, right?
May the 9th and the 10th. Item number B is the Weimar Gedenke Parade, 12 p.m. Saturday, May the 10th. Weimar Public Library Summer Reading Program starts Monday, May 19th. Item number D, Weimar City Pool opens Saturday, Memorial Day weekend.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn